Hi everyone, my name is Joyce and I am a student of Professor Jen Moore from the Modern Western Civilization online course. And today I will be talking about one of the 20th century genocide, Holodomor. To set the stage, I will like to direct you to a set of questions that hopefully will provide a general overview of what will be discussed in the slides to come. First, we will describe what is the Ukrainian famine, or Holodomor, when and where did this event take place, who was involved, who were the ones being targeted, and who was the one that can be held accountable for this horrific event. How did this started and why? And what were some of the social and political implications of this genocide, which certainly there were plenty. So the event of the Ukrainian famine goes by many names, which include terror famine, Holodomor, and many other names. It is interesting to note that Holodomor means death by famine, and famine, for those of you that don't know, means starvation. And this was a political tactic targeting the kulaks. The Soviet Union, under the rule of Joseph Stalin, which we will talk about in the slides to come, wanted to upgrade the Soviet Union and impose many things to the people of Ukraine. 80% of the Ukrainians were farmers. And one of the things that Stalin implemented by force was the concept of collective farming. Now, the owner of farms will no longer have possession over their crops and land because it was essentially now the government's property, and hence it was to be handled their way. Those who opposed collectivism were targeted by the communists as kulaks, and they eventually were executed. The Holodomor was said to be one of history's best kept secrets, mainly because the Soviets denied what was really happening. Ukrainian famine, or Holodomor, took place in the Republic of Ukraine from 1932 to 1933. Just to implement a little of political background, Ukraine was the second biggest republic other than Russia at that time. Also, we previously said that 80% of the population were farmers, and that explains why Ukraine was the biggest supplier of grain in not only Russia, but for the majority of Europe at that time period. Now we will talk about who was behind all of this. Joseph Stalin. Before rising to power as the leader of the Soviet Union, Stalin organized many protests. He was very talented with riots, and one can say that he was very much a strong activist. In 1922, he was general secretary for the Communist Party, and after the leader's death, it was said that he manipulated his way as the dictator of the Soviet Union. And all in all, what can be said is that he is known for being one of the cruelest leaders of all time. His mission in Ukraine was to liquidate kulaks as a class, and the truth is that he is ultimately responsible for all the unjustified murders and imprisonment of the innocent people of Ukraine during that time period. He had lots of power, and he took abuse of his power. All of this violence and starvation of the Holodomor stem from the Soviets' fear of losing power. Stalin, as the current leader of the Soviet Union, designed many plans to transform and upgrade the Soviet Union. One of these plans included the implementation and collectivism in the farms of Ukraine. The abuse of power and close-mindedness of those enforcing the law caused the most damage in the Ukrainian population, which led to many deaths, suffering, and trauma. Implications of this event were many. and we are just going to name a few social and political ones. First, I would like to direct you to the social implications of the Holodomor. During this period, there was a culture of fear that cannot be denied. It was estimated that there were approximately 2,800 deaths per day at the peak of the Ukrainian famine. The government started bringing Russians in to replace the Ukrainians, and even in schools, the languages that were being taught assimilated more to the Russian language than the Ukrainian language. The people had no voice nor ownership, and this ultimately meant that the Ukrainians were losing their territorial identity. The political implications of this genocide were that Ukraine longed to become independent, and due to the weakening of the population and its culture and its pride, it lost all of its hope to become independent. As a result, the people of Ukraine also lost all of its trust with the government and politics. I mean, terror was in the air for these people. This got to an extent where the republic was blocked and peasants were not allowed to leave the city, nor help was able to come into Ukraine. If someone sneaked in the middle of the night to even eat a piece of grain, the punishment was death. You were forbidden to mourn the dead and talk about what you have seen. In conclusion, 10 million deaths were a result of this genocide. Joseph Stalin, along with the Soviet Union, played a big role in this event, and we study this in hopes that the horrors of history will not repeat itself. I hope you learned from my presentation, and please refer to the reference slide for more information. Thank you.